Tariq Cohen is 5'6". He's so short that Saints players made fun of his height during a game. Myles Garrett is 6'5". And guess what? Nobody is making fun of Myles Garrett, or there'll be consequences. But what about a more normal height, like 6'2"? That's when things get interesting. Let's begin. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. So if you like this channel, make sure you're subscribed, and you might as well hit the notification bell. So every week when I upload a new video, you're not gonna miss it. 5'6", Tariq Cohen, and there's no competition. 5'7", Taylor Gabriel was the only 5'7" player for many years. But the best 5'7" player is now Devin Singletary, the rookie running back. He just had an insane rookie season. 5'8". This is where it gets exciting! Phillip Lindsay. No competition. Lindsay is an all-pro running back, and the other guys aren't even starters. 5'9". Our first controversial decision. We have Mark Ingram, his teammate Hollywood Brown, and Aaron Jones. Hollywood was really impressive this season, but it's way too early in his career to say he's better than these two guys. So he's out. The popular answer would be Mark Ingram, but let's be honest. When you have Lamar Jackson as your quarterback and the entire defense is getting ready for Lamar to run the ball, he had a really easy job. The best 5'9" player is Aaron Jones. 19 touchdowns, 68 receptions. He put the Packers offense on his back. 5'10". We should call this one a tie, because you know what? It's not fair to choose one of these guys. Dalvin Cook or Tyreek Hill. I mean, Alvin Kamara is also 5'10", and in 2018 he would have been the best, but he had a very disappointing season. Tyreek seems like the obvious answer. In 2018, he had 13 touchdowns and 1,500 yards, but 2019 was a little bit of a down year. Dalvin Cook just had the best season of his career. He turned the Vikings offense around, and if they had a better defense, they could have made a Super Bowl run. Tyreek Hill had Patrick Mahomes on his team, the best quarterback, and defenses were busy double-teaming Travis Kelce, so it wasn't that hard for him to get open. Dalvin Cook had a bad offensive line, and Kirk Cousins, well, he's not bad, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. Greg, you're an idiot. You don't watch football. You don't know what you're talking about. I do watch football. That's how I know Dalvin Cook is a better player. 5'11", aka the guys who call themselves 6 feet. Odell Beckham Jr. Oh, you thought I was saying he's the best? No, he's not even top 3. It's between the two best running backs in the NFL, Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has the most talent. Last year, he ran for 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns. He hasn't fumbled once in his NFL career, but the offense around him is terrible, so he hasn't had a chance to show his true potential. Christian McCaffrey had the best season last year. 1,400 rushing yards, 1,000 receiving yards, 19 touchdowns, but the offense was still average. So the moment of truth, who is the best 5'11" player? It is neither of them. The best 5'11" player is Russell Wilson. Huh? Yeah. 4,100 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. What makes Russell Wilson better than Saquon and Christian McCaffrey? He wins games for the team. And you might not agree because of the flashy stats the other guys got, but Russell Wilson is the true MVP of his team, and if you want to be the best player, you better win games. 6 feet tall, Drew Brees, Ezekiel Elliott, or Bobby Wagner, one of the best defenders in the NFL. Everyone's talking like Zeke had a bad season, but if you look at the numbers, he didn't. His only weakness this season was his hairstyle. It was awful. Drew Brees was incredible as always, but he missed 5 games of the season. And then you have Bobby Wagner, arguably the greatest defender in the NFL. Okay, maybe not the greatest, but he's like top 5. And he's definitely the best middle linebacker. You could argue each of them is the right answer, but to me, one thing separates them all. When Drew Brees was out for 5 games, the Saints went 5-0. They didn't need him. When Zeke had bad games, they were still winning. Bobby Wagner was the heart and soul of the Seattle Seahawks defense this season. When he played good, the Seahawks won. When he played poorly, the Seahawks lost. So Bobby Wagner is the best 6-foot player. 6'1". DeAndre Hopkins, what? No way he's 6'1". He looks massive. Maybe without shoes, without socks, and if he sits down, no, he still looks taller than 6'1". But he's not the best. If I was going to pick a wide receiver, I would go with Chris Godwin, who had a better season, believe it or not. The competition is between the 2 best defenders in the league, Aaron Donald or Stephon Gilmore. Oh my goodness, it's so close. Oh wait, no, it's not close at all. Stephon Gilmore is miles better than Aaron Donald this season. Gilmore is without a doubt the best cornerback in the league, and cornerback is the hardest position to play. So when you're the best at the hardest position, it's a big deal. Why do you think they had such a good season? Because Tom Brady was throwing 150 yards per game? No! Because Stephon Gilmore turned the defense around into a winning defense. He's the best. 6'2", the most talented position in the video. We have 3 quarterbacks: Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, and Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why this is a quarterback position, but it is. Who had the best record this season? Aaron Rodgers. Who had the most touchdowns? Dak Prescott. Who threw for the most yards? Dak Prescott. Who had the best touchdown interception ratio? Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I think we can take Deshaun Watson out of the conversation because he has not won a single category. So bye-bye, Deshaun. Man, we should just call this one a tie, but I need to pick somebody. The answer is none of them, because the best 6'2" player is Lamar Jackson. 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and oh, I almost forgot, the MVP of 2020. 6'3". This is between Michael Thomas and Patrick Mahomes. A lot of you are biased because Mahomes won the Super Bowl. But don't forget, his regular season was pretty average. Okay, maybe not average, but not as good as his MVP season. Michael Thomas, on the other hand, had a record-breaking season. 150 receptions, 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns, to have a historical season. Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks we'll ever see, but if we're being honest and not biased, Michael Thomas is the best 6'3" player, and that's just the facts. And just for fun, the 3rd place winner would not be Julio Jones, it would not be Khalil Mack, it would be Derrick Henry, because he also had an amazing season. 6'4". This is where I should be picking DeAndre Hopkins. But whatever, he's 6'1", whatever you say, NFL. Our options are George Kittle, Tom Brady, or Myles Garrett. Honorable mention was Ryan Tannehill, but I still feel like that amazing season was a fluke. I'm sorry, it's just what I think. Myles Garrett, you could say what you want to say about him, as long as you don't get him angry. But this guy has talent and athleticism just pumping in his veins. And I said all those nice things now, but I'm sorry, you're eliminated. You didn't play enough games in 2019 to be in the conversation, and even in the games he played, he was average. It's between Kittle and Tom Brady, and you probably think it's an easy answer, but it's not. Tom Brady is one of the toughest players to judge. He doesn't get 400 yards a game like Jameis Winston, but what he does is wins games. And even if we do look at the numbers, they're not bad. 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 4,000 yards, not too bad at all. When you think of George Kittle, you probably think he's the best tight end in the league. And you might be right, But let's look at the stats. 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yeah, that's not too impressive, right? You probably thought it would be a lot more. So did I. His main talent is blocking. He is one of the best run blockers in the league. So we have 2 players who aren't defined by their stats, which I love because everybody just looks at the stats and thinks that's it. No, you gotta look past the stats, look at the impact, look at who is winning games for their team. And this one is close, but I'm gonna go with George Kittle. Why do you think the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl? Spoiler alert, not because of Jimmy Garoppolo, because of their run game. It makes sense. Case closed. 6'5". What's the most talented height? Was it 6'2" with the quarterbacks? 6'3" with the Super Bowl winners? Believe it or not, it might be 6'5". Cam Newton, TJ Watt, and Travis Kelce. Amazing, right? You know what's even more amazing? None of them are in the conversation. The best 6'5" players are Carson Wentz, Joey Bosa, and JJ Watt. And you're gonna hate my answer. Between the 2 defenders, I gotta go with Joey Bosa. He has been an absolute beast in his first couple seasons. JJ is incredible too, but he has trouble staying on the field. Bosa had 11.5 sacks this season. JJ Watt, only 4. So get him off the screen. Hot take, Carson Wentz might be the most underrated player in the entire NFL. Not just underrated quarterback, player. 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's Aaron Rodgers level, Drew Brees level. Carson Wentz is MVP talent. And even though Joey Bosa is one of the best defenders in the entire league, Carson Wentz is the best 6'5" player. 6'6". Ironically, it's between Nick Foles, who is a big reason people don't give Carson Wentz the respect he deserves, and Darren Waller. Who's this guy? He is an athletic freak. That's who he is. The rookie tight end for the Raiders. Greg, don't tell me you're picking a rookie over a Super Bowl champion. Well, let's see how they did this season. Nick Foles, are you ready for this? 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Awful! What about Darren Waller? 90 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 3 touchdowns. What makes Darren Waller so scary is how fast he is. He's 6'6" and is faster than most wide receivers. That, my friends, is what we call unguardable in the NFL, and that is why Darren Waller is the best. 6'7". We have the tallest quarterback in the league, Paxton Lynch, 6'7". But he's obviously not the best. It's between Jimmy Graham, a future Hall of Famer, and DeForest Buckner, the number 7 overall pick from 2016. Jimmy Graham is a certified legend. He's been a part of so many great teams, had so many great quarterbacks. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. In 2013, he led the NFL in receiving touchdowns. A tight end with more touchdowns than any of the receivers. But he's not the best, because DeForest Buckner had 7.5 sacks this season. The 49ers defense is what got them to the Super Bowl, and he was a big part of that. And if you're an offensive lineman, imagine how scary it is to see a 6'7" defensive lineman. At that point, you might as well just quit and find a new job. 6'8", Calais Campbell. Another defensive lineman, bro. Where do these guys come from? He had 6.5 sacks this season, 10.5 sacks the season before. Another 5-time Pro Bowler. And he's only 300 pounds. When you're 6'8" and 300 pounds, that's considered skinny. 6'9", Alejandro Villanueva. A pretty good offensive lineman, but it's not like he had any competition. And the tallest player in the NFL. Standing 6'10", Nate Wozniak. Best NFL player from each age. That's my new video. Go watch that right now. I'll put it somewhere on the screen for you to click.